Hello, everyone. Thank you for checking out this episode of Really Dicey. Today, we're going to talk about Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, the Cleric Subclasses. I'm here with Vander, and I'll have him start out talking about the optional class features.
Hey guys, before we go over Order, Peace, and Twilight, just a few new additional things you're getting with Cleric now. First, bunch of new spells. It's third level and higher. They don't get anything new when first starting off, but that's because I think all these guys are heavy loaded on the beginning stuff anyways. At second level, you can now use Harness Divine Power, where as a bonus action, you can regain a expended spell slot. So if you are down a spell, like you just need one more spell to keep a party member alive or take out like that one more person, this gives you that capability, which I think is fantastic. Can only use it number of times equal to certain levels. Max is 3, and you can only do it one for one first level, second level, or third level, depending on your proficiency bonus. At fourth level and every ASI thereafter, you can switch up a cantrip. So if you just got one you aren't using anymore, switch it up with something else. You're a cleric, you're already used to switching your spells every day, so it's just another thing. Blessed Strikes at 8th level. Pretty nice little feature. When a creature takes damage from you, from either your cantrips or weapons attack, you can do 1d8 radiant damage to that creature for once a turn. So if you just have that, you do a little bit of damage, maybe you roll the 1 and you just want to add a little more damage to that attack because you're like, that sucked. Now you can make sure those attacks do a little bit more when you need it to be. But that's just general for everything. Manny, if you want to start talking our way through the order domain.
Honestly, it should have been retitled Order of Control,
Yes,
because or the Control Domain, because it's all about pretty much the working on enchantments to control your enemies. So with Voice of Authority, what's cool about it is that if you cast a spell on an ally, doesn't matter what spell it is, they get a immediate reaction after the spell to make one weapon attack against a creature of their choice, which is pretty amazing. Challenge Divinity. The character presents their holy symbol, and each creature of their choice that can see or hear the character within 30 feet gets a wisdom saving throw, or they get charmed by the end of their next turn, or until the charmed creature takes any damage. That's really interesting.
Their Divine Strike, I really liked that they were like, nope, psychic damage, because like everything you're doing is mental control or like mentally like making someone submissive to you, which is interesting. And Embodiment of the Law at 6th level is also pretty great. If you cast an enchantment spell,
It,
you can
it counts
change
as
it.
a bonus action. That's
Yeah, but
crazy.
and then you can still attack. So like they're really giving you like all of these things. Um, I believe we both weren't a big fan of Order's Wrath at 17th level.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit with the theme. So the target takes um, psychic damage, but that's it. Really, there's no like charming effect or anything like that. It was just more damage. So it's okay. I mean, damage. Any damage is good damage. But I wish there was for 17th level. I wish there was something a little bit more. That's my only complaint.
Yeah, especially for clerics. Like, granted, they are full casters, so it's not like they're out of things ever. But like, of all things, to give clerics 2d8 more damage to somebody else too. So like, I mean, I guess if that's onto your rogue who's like sneak attacking, I guess, and like crits, that's great, but doesn't do much otherwise. But
Hmm.
the next one we had was Peace Domain, which I think we both also
Yeah.
were a
Well,
fan of.
usually when I hear people complain about clerics, they talk about they're not more aggressive or warlike, and 5e fixed that with having a lot more damagey clerics. Uh,
Forge, War Domain, even the Order one we just read was like definitely more aggressive than passive.
yeah, but this is the opposite end. If you want something that really fits the idea of what traditional clerics are like, peacemakers, healers. This is like the perfect class for that, especially if you're worshiping a deity that is promoting peace and healing and understanding. Um, at first level, they get proficiency in insight, performance, or persuasion. That's okay. But the emboldening bond is kind of cool. So if you have a bunch of if the peace cleric has a bunch of players with them, if they're bonded, if they're good friends, he could give each of them D4 to roll for either attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. Um, uh, um,
Once
as Go ahead,
once
sorry.
per yeah, once per turn.
Once per turn.
Which between that and bless, basically you just double up on bless, which is like fantastic.
Yeah, that's really incredible. I Protective Bondo, I like a lot also. The idea that you can, if you see someone in danger, you could teleport them away. Oh no, sorry. Let me say that. I got that wrong. What I like about Protective Bond is that if you see someone in danger, you can teleport yourself as a reaction, I believe.
You can teleport yourself or another bonded creature. So basically, everyone under emboldening bond, they're all like basically you're like you have a thread connecting all of you now. So if someone gets hurt and it's like you're squishy wizard and you're like nope barbarian and he just like pops out and takes the damage, like it leaves you open to some really good combos. Like this the idea of protective bond like just makes those really interesting anime combos of like no and
Yeah.
a reality which I love.
Yeah,
Uh,
have you? I mean, I've been in so many situations where a certain player gets hurt really badly, and everyone's trying to figure out, okay, what can I do to stop that from happening?
yeah.
Like say they'll give me some crazy suggestions, like I'll do athletics roll so I could go get in between them or something like that.
Yep.
This would solve that situation.
Yeah, it's just so good, and I do like potent spellcasting at 8th level. It's not super powerful. Like all the other ones get divine strike or something like that for like a D8 extra damage. But since you are a peacemaker and you probably deal more with magic than straight up combat, unless you have a really fun build in mind already, you add wisdom to your damage roll as you do with cleric cantrips. So like you're damaging from afar, you're trying to keep the peace, and I like that as just like a tiny little additional feature. And then we have expansive bond. Basically, now it works with a 60-foot range, so you just have a wider radius to cover, which is really good because 30 feet's nice. But like if you have like if your ranger is like way back and is like no, I can take the hit, but it's just not within range, like not much you can do there.
The Twilight Domain is pretty amazing. Also, I'm amazed how like some of the abilities that they get is they don't need concentration for, which is pretty cool. I mean, at first level they get Eyes of Night, which is pretty much dark vision and
We have to mention the fact that dark vision is 300 feet because that's just crazy.
yeah. Twilight Sanctuary, the fact that you could create a sphere of 30 feet, and by the end of the turn, whoever's within that sphere gets temporary hit points, d6 plus the cleric's level. If they're charmed or frightened, that effect wears off. That's pretty cool. It's a perfect Twilight cleric might be a perfect thing to have with you in a dungeon scenario.
I agreed. I will go back quickly to Eyes of Night one more time because I do actually really enjoy. There's very few situations where 300-foot range dark vision may be super helpful, but if you and the ranger are scouting ahead or you have missions that are in the dark, subterfuge missions, that could be a big help. Usually stuff is a lot closer up, but the capability of that, like if you're a cleric who's also a ranger or a cleric who's also a rogue, you could really find that kind of vision super helpful. But we do have a couple other things like a divine strike at level 8, which is again just more damage, but it's radiant damage because you are the holy defender of the Twilight Night stuff. Yeah. I don't know why it's radiant. I guess just because it's bright at twilight, kind of.
Yeah.
I guess. Um,
Steps of Night is not horrible. It's just it's flight, but it's like walking speed flight, so it does literally look like you're walking in the air. It's cool Cool
Yeah,
effect.
see, you get this for 1 minute, which, if you look at the monk thing that we were looking at earlier with the dragon step at 6th level, you only got it for 1 round using a key point. So the fact that this feature lets you have it for a minute really makes me like the ancestral dragon, even less. But that's a totally separate subject.
Yeah.
Um,
And at
but
17th level, you get Twilight Shroud, which gives you half cover for those that are within your sphere,
which is
which,
awesome.
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's very protective. It's not as protective. It's not as much as like the peaceful level of protective where it's like I need everyone alive, but it's very much like here's my sphere of protection, and like if you're in it, you got it, which is I think still pretty awesome.
All right. So, what did you think of these subclasses? Or what would you change about them? Let us know in the comments below. And yeah, please like and subscribe, support the channel, and stay safe out there. Have a good day.
See ya.